Hola amigos de Chilango, ¿cómo están? Estamos aquí en el tráfico con Noam Bardin. Él es CEO de Waze, o sea, es el mero de Waze en el mundo. Y está de visita aquí en México porque va a presentar algunas cosas y nos va a contar qué es lo que está haciendo Waze para que tengamos menos tráfico en la ciudad o al menos la pasemos menos mal. Thank you, Noam, for being with us.
Thank you for giving me a ride in this wonderful traffic we're sitting in.
Y bueno, cuéntanos, Noam, ¿a qué vienes a la Ciudad de México? ¿Qué van a lanzar acá?
So we're very excited to be here in Mexico City. It's a very big city for Waze. We have a lot of Wazers here. You know, every month over 2 million Wazers in Mexico City drive with us. And we're launching Carpool today. We're launching a service that really aims at getting at the heart of traffic. And by using all of our drivers, if they share their ride, they take another rider with them. We can take a car off the road. If every one of us would take 1 or 2 other riders with us, we can really change traffic, which we all know is terrible everywhere, but especially here in Mexico City. And to do this, we have 2 apps today, the driver and the carpool app. We will do all the heavy lifting. We'll find people that live next to you and work next to you. We'll match them up. We'll let the rider pay a little money and the driver will make a little money, and we'll handle all of that. All you have to do is participate. Install the app and help us together really make an impact on traffic. You know, when Waze started out, we tried to find ways to get around traffic. And that's what we're famous for, right? We find different ways for you to get around, but we're out of options. There are too many cars, there's not enough roads, and there really is nothing that can solve this unless we begin using the empty seats in the car. Now, every car has 4 or 5 seats, and usually people drive alone by themselves. So if we can get a small percent of the people driving to take a rider with them, we can remove cars from the road, and we can actually get free-flowing traffic. And that's been our mission since we got started.
Sí, ahora que estábamos platicando antes de prender la cámara y estar aquí atorados en el tráfico, yo le contaba a Noam acerca de Santa Fe y cómo pues la godiniza de los que trabajan allá o los que alguna vez trabajamos por allá, pues íbamos solos en nuestros carros, ¿no? Y por más esfuerzo que se hiciera era muy difícil que pudiéramos compartir el auto y todos llegábamos, ¿no? Volteaba uno para todos lados y pura gente sola, esos autos y amargada. Entonces, como saben, pues vino a platicarnos de qué acaba de decir, de qué es este servicio.
So there are 2 sides of the service, the driver side and the rider side. Now the driver side, it's the regular Waze app that you use and love anyway. And what you will see happening is that there will be a new icon at the bottom right, and you'll click on that icon, you can opt in as a driver. We're going to ask you some questions. Where do you live? Where do you work? What time do you leave for work? What time do you come back? Some basic questions like that. And with that, we're going to have sort of you as a driver. On the rider side, if you want to ride, you'll download the new app. It's called Waze Carpool. And it'll ask you similar questions. Where do you live? Where's your work? What time do you leave? And from that moment on, whenever you open up the app, you're going to see all the drivers that fit your route. These are people that live close to you and work close to you and leave at the same time. And you can request a ride from them. And you can see who they are, you can see where they work, and you'll request a ride and they can confirm your ride. And at that point, just like you're driving with Waze, this time you'll actually pick up the person and take them to work with you. And the rider pays a little money, and we're starting out with a great rate. We're charging 10 pesos no matter how far the distance is. And the driver gets paid, and he's paid up to 100 pesos depending how far he's driving. And so you can basically fill your car up with people, you can make some money for fuel. This is not like Uber or a taxi service.
It's not a business.
It's not a business. You can't make money here and be rich and buy a house or things like that. But you can get paid back for the cost of the car, the fuel and everything else. And you know what? Cars are very expensive to maintain. And if we just share them a little bit, and you have the empty seats in your car, if we share them, we can help the environment, we can help our city, and we can help ourselves.
Suena muy bien. Está padre conocer gente nueva, gente que vive cerca de ti, que hace los mismos recorridos que tú, pero pues todos sabemos que en esta ciudad es un poco complicado el tema de la seguridad. Entonces me gustaría preguntarte qué hay con la seguridad.
Obviously, the whole system has to be built on trust. If people don't trust each other, then it won't work, right? And so we've given users a lot of control over who they decide to ride with. So you can see who the person is, you can see where they work, you can see how many rides they've taken, and all the traditional sort of internet level things about validating who the user is. We validate real things in terms of the user's phone number and credit card and information like that. And on top of that, we give you tools. For example, women might decide they only want to ride with women. So we have a flag that you can say, you'll only see other women. You might decide you only want to ride with people that work with you. And then you can turn a flag on and you'll only see people that come from your work. So we give you a lot of tools to decide how comfortable you feel. I know the issue of security is always a really big issue before people take the first ride. Because it always sounds scary when I'm getting to a ride with someone I don't know and things like that. But once you do it, you discover that your neighbors and your co-workers are actually great people, and we have tremendous friendships that have happened. You create this little community of people that live in the same place, work in the same place, drive together, are responsible for each other. And this is really something that is critical for us in how we live as a society, right? Being able to take a responsibility for each other and just to know who we are. And so getting that first ride is always the hardest challenge. And once people do that, they usually take off the flags and they're willing to ride with anyone, because again, it's a very small community of people who are really helping each other.
¿En qué ciudades de Latinoamérica ya funciona este servicio?
The only other country where we've launched it is Brazil. Mm-hmm. So that's where this is the first country in Latin America or Central America that we're launching in. So and Mexico is a fascinating country for a lot of different reasons, but among them, you consistently rank in the top 10 worst traffic countries in the world. You all know that, right? And it's funny, every country thinks they're the worst. Like everywhere I go, anywhere in the world, they all say we have the worst traffic. Well, you really have some of the worst traffic, and there's nothing we can do about this unless we work together. And we have about 4 million active Wazers every month that use our app. In Mexico City, about 1/3 of the drivers use our app, right? So we have tremendous number of people using our app. In Mexico City, they use our app an hour and a half a day, right? So if a small percent of them will actually share with the riders, we can make a really, really big impact on the traffic in Mexico City and really change how we all live.
¿Y estará solamente disponible en la Ciudad de México?
We're opening up the whole country. Our assumption is, like everything we do at Waze, it's built on a community. It's people helping each other and working. We don't know where it's going to work. Maybe it'll work in Monterrey and not in Mexico City. Maybe there are other small towns that we don't know where it's going to work. So it's always about the local people, and the service gets built by people that live in these towns. And so we're opening it up and we'll see where it grows. Traffic is a problem that we all share. You know, even if you work in government, if you work in the private sector, if you go to school, we all sit in traffic together. Doesn't matter how rich you are, it doesn't matter how poor you are, we're all sitting together in traffic. So it's really something we all need to work on together.